This video is just a bunch of thoughts that I've had, and it's not really organized, so to speak. Just kind of rambling, and don't worry, because I'm gonna have another Blue Zone pretty soon. I just uploaded one, and go check that out. But today I've been thinking about the whole Jeffress thing a little bit. If you don't know what that is, in that video I mention him, but if you look up Robert Jeffress on the internet, you'll probably find him. He's well known. So I'm gonna talk about a few things. I have kind of a list in my head. One is judgmental people. Two is contentment. Three is coexist. So let's get to it. Number one, judgmental people. Jeffress is a judgmental person. So if you read the article that I reference in the video, which actually I don't talk about it much, but I had a Blue Zone where I was going to talk about it in detail. But he said that liberal churches are hiding illegal immigrants. So he's making a judgmental statement right there by saying liberal. Churches aren't technically liberal or conservative. I don't think that. They have responsibility to serve people, and politically they should not be involved with stuff like, they shouldn't be involved with politics, so liberal or conservative. So that was his judgment call, because there are probably conservative ones that are also housing illegal immigrants. Yeah. So for him to say liberal, it's like saying, oh, just because they do something I disagree with, they're liberal. That's being judgmental. And it's assuming that just because they do something that his worldview isn't in line with, they're automatically liberal. So yeah, I don't really, I'd say I'm liberal, but that's just because I live and let live, and that's point 3. So yeah, just anyway, point 2, what was point 2? Point 2, contentment. So I have been figuring out how to be content with my situation, content with my beliefs, and not having them kind of in a little box. So I guess I could add a 4th point, which was that just being comfortable where you are now, understanding that years from now you'll look back and say, man, I'm glad that happened. A lot of people, I guess, we don't remember, and myself included, this is everyone, we don't think like that. We don't think in the future I'll look back and this will be something I don't want to change. I'm glad it happened, even though now I really don't like it, or whatever it may be. Or if you have regrets from the past, and you can't seem to let them go, I just say be in the moment. So the whole Zen thing is about being here now. And I was in the pool recently and just swimming around, and so I was doing like a breathing thing where I held my breath and went under and let all my air out and sunk to the bottom. And then I'd come back up and do it again. And I thought about breathing exercises, so like meditation and breathing, and that alone is just really soothing and almost therapeutic. So just being content in the moment, living in the moment, you know, it all ties together. Being just comfortable where you're at now, and if you want to change something, you know, just do it. Just go for it and don't be afraid. That's point 2. Now, this is just a random video, so it's a little bounced around all over the place. Point 3 was coexist, and you know, you see the bumper stickers that say coexist, and it's interesting because my first reaction to them is always, well, you have no choice but to coexist. But what it means is don't fight each other, and that is a good tip. You know, it goes back to judgmental people. Don't say they're going to hell, they're going to hell. Shut up, you know, because you don't have the right to do that. And I don't care how much of a celebrity or a politician you are, you're still a jerk. And I think back to when I was in 9th and 10th grade, I was that way. I was like, I had this friend who was an atheist. He said he was an atheist, and back then, and I'm sure all of the youth group's mind, atheist was about as bad as it gets, because we're supposed to witness to people, and we're just supposed to do it. So this friend of mine who's an atheist, I am thinking the whole time, oh, you know, I gotta like bring him to Jesus or something, some bull like that. And so it turns from like a shock, like, oh, an atheist, woo. You know, I'm in 9th grade, so I'm kind of young, but you know, I'm not making excuses. He's an atheist, I was shocked, and I don't know why. So it went from kind of nice to just, at one point, I was pestering him about it, and I became this just jerk, like from then on until I actually took a step back, had a faith crisis and all this, and realized that I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, and also that was some bull, evangelical, and that's why I have a sort of a problem with the whole evangelical thing. It's all about saving souls and blah blah blah, and they're the most judgmental people because they have to make a judgment call. Oh, he's a homosexual. He's not saved. So that was what I was. I was an ignorant prick, an arrogant prick, and all through those 2 years of school, I think 11th grade I kind of toned down a bit. That friend moved back to where he came from, and I had a new friend in 10th grade who's also a non-believer, and at first I wanted to convert him, bring him into the faith too, but I let off after a while because I slowly began to not be a judgmental prick. So that's my whole spiel about my past. I was really bad, and I apologize to everyone out there who I said things to, and even more recently about faith and being just so ardent and staunch in that, and it's bogus. And so the rest of this video, just know that I am very sorry for it, and I'm not like that anymore. I'm not anything like that, and it's kind of weird. So I had a, like I said, faith crisis in 11th grade, and it wasn't really a crisis. I was fed up, and you know, I just said, I don't believe this stuff, and now I'm kind of, I have faith, and it's my faith, and you know, I'm not gonna push on people ever. I have a little bit at times, but I'm not going to do that because I realize that we need to coexist. And I understand the evangelizing thing. I understand what people, they want to save people. Well, it's not your freaking job. Because, like, in many, like, worldviews, it's none of your business, or at least it should be. I mean, Jesus himself said, like, do not judge, lest you be judged, and all that stuff. And the way I see it is, the only people you can judge are the people within your church, so to speak, because there is a verse that says something along those lines. Even then, don't judge them, because, you know, get yourself in line and together first. And that was my problem. I didn't have it figured out. I thought I did. But it turns out I flipped 180, and now I have a completely new, better faith that is accepting of others. The father had a sermon this past Sunday where he said that to love people, you have to show it. You have to show it through actions. And I think, if I'm quoting it right, it was about not judging people, basically. And I've read in some things that, and I've watched videos from Orthodox Christians who say that the whole idea is it's never your place to say whether someone's saved or not. And why you would anyway is it's just one of those prick things I said. And it's just not your place. And there's no point. But people do it constantly these days. I'm sick of it. And part of the reason I wanted to leave Facebook for a while was because of that. This bogus I see a lot of times. I have to unfollow. I unfollowed like 20 different pages, and I'm still getting the stuff. Because back when I liked something, and now it's flooding in. And the gay marriage ruling, if you don't like it, give me a good reason for once. And don't say the Bible, because you can't use that. And so, gay marriage is, it's not threatening your marriage, your second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever marriage, even your first marriage. And if you think it is, then you must have a very weak, thin wall of defense. You must have such little strength. Your strength in Christ is not real, okay? If you think it's a threat, you are weak. Because even if you think it's wrong, if you actually feel threatened by it, and you go into this shooting out these comments about how the nation is all, screwed up, and how it's going downhill. No, screw you, because that's exactly not the case, and you need to get over yourself. And so it took me a little while to realize that when I was younger, because I was in this evangelistic mode, like, gotta change them all, gotta convert them, and it just sucked. So you just gotta deal with it, and if you don't agree with it, give me a good reason, because you need a good reason. And like I said, you can't use the Bible. Now, why can't you use the Bible? You see, this nation is not based upon the Bible, no matter what people say. And when I hear that, I hear, oh, we're founded on Christian principles. Maybe a few, but from what I've learned through research, those principles are not just Christian, and those principles are humanity. The true humanity is the loving of neighbors, you have laws, and that's to have boundaries, but no, in this case, our country is not founded on explicit Christianity. Never. Separation of church and state is a real thing, even if it doesn't say it in black and white in the Constitution. So this whole just idea that we're turning our backs on God, that's not true, because we never were in line with God in this nation. And to say that it's the end times and to pepper in some examples because some bad things happen, are you kidding me? No. No. So this whole end times, it's going downhill. It's all gone, down the drain. No, it's bogus. Bad things have happened forever, okay? The signs of the end times, yeah, no. So, a bit of a rant. I don't think I have any more to say, except love your neighbor as yourself. That's what Jesus said was the most important, not the laws. Because if we were following the laws like these arrogant douchebag frickin' evangelicals wanted, then we wouldn't eat shellfish. We can't wear this. We can't wear 2 fiber strains in our shirts, and we wouldn't be able to eat pork. I wouldn't mind too much, and yeah, there wouldn't be any gay marriage. But we're not. It's not like that. It's not the law, and Jesus said it was love your neighbor as yourself, love the Lord your God or whatever, love your neighbor as yourself, and, don't judge others, lest you be judged. And so, I'm not really into the whole yelling judgment or, political correctness in all situations. No, I don't think that's how it works, but this has gotten ridiculous, and the whole anti-gay marriage thing is just futile. It's happened, man. Deal with it. And if you don't want to deal with it and you want to whine about it, go somewhere else to whine about it. Move to Canada, because it's already legal there too. The law and the Bible are not the same. Not in this land. I don't know of a country where it is like that. In fact, the funny thing is, Christian nations, from what I know, same-sex marriage is legal. Let's see. We have Finland and all those Lutheran, the ones with the Lutheran churches and stuff. England with the Church of England. Those are Christian nations, people, because they have a national church. I don't know about Greece. I haven't looked that up yet. It's also official religion thing. But the other ones have same-sex marriage, and they're Christian nations. So you don't have a point, because we don't have a national church. And no, it's not the Southern Baptist Convention or the United Methodist Church or whatever you want to say it is. We just don't, and therefore we're not a Christian nation, and it's not a surprise that we're going to do things that go against your values, your bogus values, okay? So, here we have just the end of the video now. It's going to be a pain to edit this, but I'll do it. And so, those are my thoughts. I'm passionate about this because I was once there. I was once one of those judgmental people. I wouldn't say I still am. I have my beliefs, you have yours. We can still be friends. And my beliefs are very liberal or whatever, Robert Jeffress as it is. So, you know, live and let live is my mantra, and be open to other faiths. Just don't judge others. Don't make judgment calls because you don't know that person. You know, I'm guilty of it at times because when I see a church, I'm like, you know, it's like, it's because it's not good though. You shouldn't do that, and live and let live. But the second you bring your views out into the open, you're gonna get criticized. Why? Because that's just the way it is. And the whole live and let live thing doesn't really, like, it applies only when you're not shoving your views into everyone's face and being a troll about it. Even on the internet and stuff, you know, you're gonna deal with different views, and if you're gonna be quoting verses and trying to say blah, blah like this and that, you're gonna get shot down because it doesn't work that way. And that's judging, because you're saying, I know what's right, here's the Bible, you're not following the Bible, because you're judging them. You don't know their heart. You know, if you've seen or read the play Caesar by Shakespeare, they say to Caesar, you cannot see our hearts. Although they were plotting to kill him, they were right. He didn't know. And so that's the way it is. You can't say. They could be a better Christian than you, more faith than you, and you don't know. You don't know their struggle. You don't know what they are feeling inside, and that's why you shouldn't do that. You should never bring scripture out and say this and this, because it's nothing. It's full of sound and fury, signifying nothing, because it's just words. And, you know, I believe in a lot of the Bible. I believe that it has truth, meaning, and power. I believe that. But don't bring in the law and stuff and say this and that, because no one's going to listen to you. And you're going to get refuted. It's what you want. Because you just want everyone to think like you, and so you're expecting a fight. You're going to get it. And, you know, I think that wraps up this video finally. Just live and let live, and don't judge, and mind your own business, and be open and honest and loving with people, and be yourself. Don't let your faith or religion, your rules, come in and destroy any chance you have with being a true Christian, loving others, and showing unequal love, all-encompassing love that is what Christ would want and does want. And so, you know, keep it to yourself, really, if you have to. So this has been just a video about some thoughts and a message to all, not just certain people, but to everyone. You know, most people know this. Most people have an understanding of this and practice this, and they're the ones who get attacked for being supportive of equal rights and stuff. Guys, you're not gonna change it, okay? It's happened, you know, and you should just deal with it, because it doesn't affect you. You know, it doesn't affect anybody but the people involved in marriage, and that's the beauty of it. You can say, okay, I have my faith and I won't judge, and, you know, all that, but it's your choice. If you want to continue to harbor resentment and judgmental feelings, that's in your own head. That's only going to affect you. Once you bring it out, we're going to tell you what it is, and you're going to have to deal with it, because you came into the ring, basically. So, that concludes this. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. Just, live and let live. That's all.